Branko Milanović, Capitalism, Alone, the Future of the System That Rules the World. Dive into the complex world of capitalism and its impact on the lives of individuals with Branko Milanovic's insightful book, Capitalism, Alone, the Future of the System That Rules the World. This book summary explores the core principles of liberty, property, and the free market, while debunking common myths and misconceptions surrounding capitalism. Gain a better understanding of the relationship between government intervention and economic prosperity, the role of monopolies in economic systems, and the power of individual freedom in shaping society. This well-researched, informative, and engaging piece is perfect for anyone seeking to grasp the intricacies of capitalism as an economic and social powerhouse.
The economic freedom of capitalism. Capitalism is more than an economic system, it encompasses freedom, individual rights, and morality. Capitalism upholds the idea that personal liberty takes precedence over state power, a uniquely American perspective. Under capitalism, individuals retain ownership of their bodies, thoughts, and labor's products, and no one can deprive them of these without mutually agreed-upon compensation. This principle is fiercely protected by the free market. Contrary to popular belief, capitalists do not wage wars to enrich themselves. Instead, governments act immorally by forcing their citizens to fight and stealing their property to fund the war machine. When citizens become soldiers, they lose their freedom of choice, and the state takes away their humanity. The state's primary function should revolve around protecting its citizens' rights rather than consuming their lives to preserve political power and wealth. Capitalism's success stems from the unique value placed on freedom, which distinguishes it from prior economic systems. Debunking Marxist thought. This book debunks the Marxist idea that an economy cannot function well without government control. The author argues that government interference in the economy leads to wealth for the politically favored, poverty for everyone else, and the loss of freedom for all. The rise of nationalistic imperialism in the United States is also attributed to collectivist reformers on the left, rather than big business interests on the right. The idea that private enterprise creates coercive monopolies without government intervention is another myth that the author debunks. In fact, monopolies can only become coercive with government help. The author argues that natural monopolies do not demonstrate any price coercion. They gain dominance through efficient practices and low prices, which other competitors can challenge and enter the market. In a free market with free entry, monopolies also lose their advantage when others compete for their profits. Governments, however, can prevent this competition through legal monopolies on physical force. The choice, therefore, is not between a pro-labor or a pro-business government but between retaining freedom or losing it to government control. The impact of unions on workers. Unions, when given power and protection from the government, raise the pay of their members but only at the expense of higher prices and a lower standard of living for customers. Before unions existed, businesses implemented many of the advantages that unions claim to provide. A coercive monopoly needs closed entry, which can only be accomplished through government intervention. Inherited wealth can be beneficial to society if used wisely and productively. However, if heirs are wasteful or foolish, free market profit and loss will reallocate the wealth to those who can use it effectively. The problem with paper money. Paper money, not backed by gold or silver, allows governments to steal wealth by manipulating the money supply. When the government prints more money than supported by wealth, the value of the currency decreases, and everyone who holds it becomes poorer. The ability to trade freely depends on the government maintaining the value of its currency. Holding wealth in gold would protect it from inflation caused by printing more notes and allow for worldwide trading in gold-valuing countries. The benefits of industrialization. The Industrial Revolution has long been blamed for worsening the lives of women and children by forcing them into harsh labor. However, this book highlights that working in factories was an improvement from the difficult and limited opportunities offered by farm life. These jobs allowed women and children to earn their own money and gain a level of independence that was previously impossible. Rather than comparing their lives to modern times, it is essential to view their experiences in the context of their previous circumstances. The author challenges the popular negative narrative of industrialization's impact on society. The role of government in wealth creation. The government's taxation policies take a toll on individual wealth creation, with bureaucrats and politicians using coercion to reward some at the expense of others. The government's interference in regulating and licensing firms removes their motivation to perform at their highest level to win consumers through respectable and honest business practices. Deficit spending is merely a scheme for the hidden confiscation of wealth, with gold standing in the way of this insidious process. The airwaves' restricted use by the government costs the people who open them up, and if they were private property, businesses would make the most of them. Fair duration for patents. Patents should provide lifelong protection to inventors and their heirs to ensure that they benefit from their creativity. The book argues that patents should reflect the same level of protection as copyrights, which enable proper ownership of an author's work. It is unjustifiable for patents to expire after a certain period and for the government to claim ownership. Instead, this protection should last as long as possible to safeguard inventors' interests. By providing long-term assurance, more inventors will be motivated to create new devices, ideas, and processes that can benefit humanity. Capitalism and the freedom of individual labor. The U.S. Constitution established a federal system to protect states and delegate power to the government, not vice versa. Capitalism cannot coexist with slavery, and this contradiction eventually led to the Civil War. The eradication of slavery placed individual freedom and labor at the forefront, making it possible for capitalism to thrive without exploiting individuals. The dangers of collectivism. The ideology of collectivism is flawed and misleading, making it difficult to expose its shortcomings. This philosophy promotes the belief that pronouncements by party bosses are moral and it avoids direct debate. Communist countries use collectivism to conquer the world by force, which has resulted in millions of deaths and people living as slaves. Any compromise with collectivism is submission to evil. The character John Galt in Atlas Shrugged exemplifies resistance to collectivism by removing his talents from society, even though it may make society poorer. Free people must denounce collectivism's lies and protect individual rights by resisting oppression. The truth about collectivists. Collectivists utilize smear campaigns to silence opposition, attacking opponents as unpatriotic, selfish, oppressive, and extreme. However, true oppression only stems from the government. When businesses appear oppressive, the government often enables it. Rather than engaging in honest and fair debate, collectivists strip people of their freedom and promote selfishness and bureaucracy. In contrast, productive work benefits society and the individual. Those who support favoritism are the truly unpatriotic. Collectivism is therefore a dishonest ideology at its core. The illusion of right to consume. America's shift toward consumerism has victimized capitalism, as it rearranges the business priority from producer to customer. The state cannot provide goods and services as it doesn't possess them, resulting in state coercion and suppression of freedom. The book challenges the usage of anti-concepts like consumerism, which limits a free market's choices by creating the illusion of a right to consume. This work suggests that freedom is crucial in a nation's productivity and prosperity, and compulsion and control don't induce production. The weakness of collectivist states. The book argues that collectivist states suppress opposition because of their inherent weakness. While they claim to uplift the laborer and provide equality, they exist to benefit the ruling class. To blind people to their slavery, the state creates a fiction of consensus and forces compliance. Such states also intrude into business with regulation, taxation, and other forms of interference, instead of protecting property rights and enforcing private contracts. The book identifies the rise of anti-concepts as a means to destroy concepts, similar to how anti-hero and anti-novel were adopted to destroy heroes and novels respectively. The fallacy of collectivism. The book argues that individualism allows people to choose whom they work with and the terms of their cooperation. Religions, collectivists, and altruists demand surrender of freedom for the supposed benefit of others. Wealth acquired through free trade is beneficial and not immoral. Ownership, productivity, and free markets are morally good and benefit all. The author argues that anti-concepts and misleading education about their obligations to the state and others have blinded people from their self-interest, leading to the end of freedom. Finally, the author suggests that independent-minded people will have to wait for a future where people rediscover their rights and create societies that protect them.
In conclusion, Branko Milanovic's Capitalism, Alone, the future of the system that rules the world delivers crucial insights into the tenets of capitalism and debunks deep-rooted misconceptions. As we've seen, individual freedom and liberty are at the heart of capitalism, while government intervention and coercion often hinder economic prosperity and personal autonomy. Monopolies, unions, and inherited wealth are not inherently destructive, but rather can contribute to societal welfare if implemented responsibly. By recognizing the benefits of free markets and individualism, we can work towards a future where capitalism fosters growth while respecting personal rights and liberties. This book's summary equips you with the knowledge necessary to grasp the complexities of capitalism and make informed decisions about its role in our lives.